Greetings, this is Mary with Earth Tones, and I'm here to share with you a series of wrist, hand, and arm exercises that will help you grow in strength and mitigate any kind of concerns that you might have developed through carpal tunnel, thoracic outlet, or even just through repetitive stress in general. So to begin, let's just know the anatomy of the hands. Hopefully you have a concept that there's flexion and extension in the hands, and we're going to be also doing rotation. With that, we're just going to begin with a little bit of arm rotation. Elbows tucked very calmly next to your body. And as you do this, really feel the circumduction, the rotation of the wrists. Nice and easy. Take a deep breath in. And remember, we're trying to help heal and de-stress those wrists, so be relaxed in the fingers and palms. From there, we'll just rotate another, say 13 times out into the opposite direction. Again, remembering the breath, keeping your elbows and shoulders soft, and then just feeling those palms and fingers rotate very naturally. When you complete that, just take a moment to rest the hands. Feel the softness of those wrists and fingers, and just feel the energy flow into each digit. As we move into the placement of the hands together, we'll pitch each of those wrists together at the heart center, touching the thumbs to the sternum. And if you see this, there's a slight upward pressure into the thumb, and that just opens the palm. Holding this position, we can take about 3 long, deep breaths. Each finger pointing up, each one tenderly touching one another. Another breath. And as you complete this last breath, feel the collarbones open, the forearms and upper arms very calm. And then you just slowly, again, release the hands and just feel the sensation of prana or energy flowing through them. Each of those fingers is going to come together to make a fist. With the right arm, we'll just flex that wrist forward, restrain slightly against the other hand. It's almost as if we're trying to straighten the palm and can't. Take another breath, stretching all of these muscles here. Exhale. Release that, and go ahead and make a fist, flex, and pull one more time with the left side. Take a breath, keeping your shoulders relaxed. And feel the muscles and forearms stretch. Keep the curve to the knuckles. One more breath. And release. Very slowly, allow these muscles to relax because they were doing the pulling and these the stretching. Which brings us to the next exercise. We'll stretch the counter muscles, interlacing the fingers and pressing the wrists into extension. Now here we can go at any angle. Perhaps it's easiest to go down. Perhaps you can make it into a horizontal. And more importantly, if you can get this elevated all the way overhead, we have some very strong stretch across the whole upper back. As we hold this, take a breath in either position, and you'll see that the fists are unwound here, the whole of the fingers stretched and the palms reaching open. With this, each finger intertwines, and then we can slowly roll out. Let the palms relax, the elbows soften, and just feel very calm here. From here, it's time to go ahead and work all the way up towards the shoulder. And know that the movement of the shoulder helps. So we can do this at any level, just circling the arm and keeping the rest of the collarbone and shoulder steady. This rotation opens the fluid in the shoulder, and we can go in both directions. If for any reason there's an injury, you can also go down and just let it dangle. And just circle it around with a very easy circulation here. Going both directions, big or small. Of course, we want to repeat that to either side. And as you progress and your arms become a little bit happier, you can even reach the arms all the way out from side to side and make those arm circles even bigger towards the extended shoulder pose. But back into the hands and wrists. Right now we have the ability to work with this forearm, which is conscious of its movement forward and its throwing ability. So what we want to do is allow ourselves to really flex the elbow right here, feeling that tendon open, and pull back. Just a couple of times, flexing the bicep and extending the tricep. We'll feel that sensation with both arms, and really open up through the fingers, pull, cupping gently, and stretch each digit all the way to the web and beyond. Take a rest, bringing the hands towards heart center, and just allow yourself a nice quiet breath. The nerves come off of your back and off of the vertebrae into those hands. And so what we want to do is make sure that we get those muscles opened up off the back. Interlacing the fingers for a little more aggressive approach. We'll bring the hands towards the neck and rest here. As you see, it's placed on the base of the occiput, and the pinky fingers nestle there. The elbows stay extended out, and the back muscles are working just to stabilize, not tighten. Keeping that nice approach, you'll feel the breath, you'll feel the muscles warm up, and you might feel a little heat. Once that occurs, it's time to take a breath, refresh those arms, and let them. Let's take a moment and learn from the Chinese balls. Use the meridians of the hand in the working with this size of an element, whether it's a ball, a glass, or a plastic egg. We have a couple of motions that can be used. As we move into this position, sitting again using the table, we can allow ourselves to bring the flexion and extension. With the grip, the hand processes the information differently, and strength is more integrated across all of the muscles and tendons. Similarly, in coming up, we allow ourselves to use this rotation in an integrated and fluid way, holding the ball, the egg, or whatever device you have. Finally, rotation of that arm, pronating and supinating, is a little more restrained with this ball, but it does give a really beautiful element of rotation to the wrists and, more importantly, to the forearm. With any of these postures, a restraint against the tendons in the upper forearm can actually enhance the feeling of stretch and the specificity of your flexion, extension, pronation, and supination. Current, helping to the hands to recuperate. The mobility of each digit working within the palms is able to be enhanced by the movement of each finger. So as we cycle these hands, as a regular practice, one can be mesmerized by the feeling and sensation of the fingers working together. Reversing direction can be a little more exciting, but as you practice and work with these, you can see how each of the hand muscles are activated. Traditionally, the sound of the bells working together in a harmonics pleases the hand, the meridian, and calms the nervous system. So it can be used for many purposes after a stressful day or a sports activity. Functional exercises that crosses the midline, the meridian, and the body. And in doing so, really reorganizes the left brain, right brain, and allows us to really use our hands to the fullest potential. The stance is a loose stance in the knees and a relaxed stance into the hips. As we extend the elbows to the sides, we'll be actually reaching with a flexed elbow and pulling or raking that hand back to center. Moving to the other side, you can see the hand reaches with an open finger palm placement, then makes a fist and rakes back, using the biceps to maintain an eccentric posture. The movement, inhale and exhale, immerses strength into the forearm and allows you to really get that sensation and deep stretch across the elbows. Inhale and complete the practice with hands at Namaste. One last pose before we do our closing set is the movement of the arms across a plane. And this provides resistance into the palm and kind of separates that sense of pressure from the wrist to the forearm. You can see that you slide with gentle pressure almost to the shoulder, depending on your flexibility, and can come back to center and move off with same pressure throughout, almost a push-pull resistance. In recuperation of the hand, oftentimes it feels comfortable to have a table or a resting element. It also serves as some type of a restraint or friction for the forearm, getting a better stretch. We're going to begin with a few hand exercises that provide both rotation and flexion. Here the first one is going to be basically a pulling down or flexing with an extra support of the hand. The extra placement of this arm stabilizes the muscles, getting more stretch to the forearm. As you come back up, we'll open the palm and pull back. Flexing down with the wrist and fist, opening up with the palm and fingers extended. Then we'll go ahead and flex down and try to come back up, pulling that wrist and using some restraint in the hand. And we'll do the same thing with an open hand, using some restraint, slowly coming down. This gets a great extension through the whole of your hand, the metatarsals, the fingers, and again into that stabilizing of your arm. The next pose allows us to go down and up with that wrist, using the ulnar edge as our breaking point. You can see from this that the palm has full reach down with the fingers extended and returning back up with the thumb joining. This works the rotation against all these muscles, the carpal tunnel, and all of the muscles, bones, that come right through here that form this strength and flexibility of our wrist. These could be done in midair, flexing down with restraint and coming up with a straight hand. But again, we like this idea of using the forearm for what it can give us. Using the hand and the elbow stabilized, we can go towards single-digit extensions. To some extent, we have viability of opening each digit. Excuse me for the middle finger. Ring finger and fourth finger often come up together. To have a little bit more separation, you can try bending, 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 and bending, just using that different metacarpal extension. Finally, we're going to show you one of my favorite stretches, and we'll get a nice little close-up here. In moving into the wrist, we have the opportunity to outwardly rotate the thumb and arm, placing it on a flat surface and adding the other hand for gentle pressure. You can hold this for up to 4 or 5 breaths, feeling the flatness of the palm and the openness of the hand really connect to your posture. Allow yourself to release. And you can see how using these positions will help you in your yoga practice, help you sustain arm balances, hand balances, and also allow you to really immerse the weight of your body and pressure through the whole palm, forearm. So let's just complete the process with a gentle stretch into that arm and shoulder, feeling the rhythm of the breath and using it to stretch out through the fingers. Take that breath in. Feel the inside and the outside of the hand open up. And of course, we'll get to the other side. Inhaling, stretching across that elbow joint. And exhale. Feel open. Separate the stress from your body. Inhale.